Well. I think I've got everything going. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, now YouTube's working. Wonderful. Okay. Oh, wait. No. It's time I make a tweet as well, saying that I'm going live. Can't forget to make those as I start up everything in the background, in the foreground, get everything up and running. Considering the category, I'm putting on Hightail this time. Apparently, there's a new update that adds magic and whatnot to it. So that's exciting. We'll see if that's something that I can get my grubby little hands on for the playthrough. I was also contemplating that maybe... Oh, you know what? I'll show my model as well. Or my PNG tuber model. Here we go. I was contemplating downloading some mods, but this time is not that time. I will maybe, let's see, find I will maybe find a way to do it next time, but this time I'm just gonna focus primarily on actually playing through the game. I want to build a house. You know, I've set aside building a house. I want to progress, obviously. I want to do all of those things, but I do also want to build a pretty little house to live in. And I think that's, like, a fairly relaxing thing to do, you know? So, actually, why? Okay. Ran into an issue downloading this update. I thought I had already downloaded the update, but I guess the launcher needed one as well. So it's somehow getting stuck now, and I'm not sure. Does this mean I have to swap game? I don't know. Otherwise, this turns into just talking. You know, maybe I'll swap over to just talking, at least for now. That way I have it categorized at least a little bit. So first a little bit of talking, then Hightail. There's magic in this game now. So we'll do that. And then we'll swap category to just talking. So that I can... What do you mean just talking isn't a category? Just chatting, sorry. Yeah, of course it's called that. Of course it's called that. It's like so very slightly. Yes, okay. What? It gets stuck at the same part every single time. Okay. That's unfortunate. But, oh well. Also very cool. We immediately get a bot joining in the first couple of seconds. I turn on just chatting, and immediately it decides it wants to try just chat with me. Unfortunately, we're not allowing bots in here, so that's gonna have to be done without. In which case, I also want to... Wait, I've got the music on, right? Yeah, I've got the music on. It's on. The music is on. And Hightail? Hightail is stuck. It downloads like 13% then crashes, then 13% then crashes. I've really no clue what's going on. We're trying this. We're going to get into it. I want to see how the categorization works whenever I go into my, not my overview or my analytics or whatever, but whenever I go into, is it my channel? Maybe I go into my channel and see if that's where it happens. I want to check that if I go into the videos tab, let's see, videos, that it has categorized, yeah, okay, it's categorized in just chatting, and it's also separated between the two, so that's pretty good. And once this is downloaded, then I can actually continue, but for now, I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of Hytale. I really like Hytale. I want to play more of it, obviously. And I want to try build some, but I really don't think that my building skills are up to snuff whenever it comes to it. Again, Hytale, for whatever reason, crashes every time it gets to 13%. Not sure why that's the case, but, you know, we still have a little bit of time to talk and do things. So, I've been watching more anime as of late. I began watching this one show called, was it Cautious Hero? The Hero's Overly Cautious? It is so good. It is genuinely so good. I really loved it. It reminds me a lot of Asobi Asobase, and in case you're unfamiliar, it's a comedy show, but it has a lot of like, besides some of the sometimes lewd humor and so on, I think it appeals really well to me. Maybe it's just my type of humor with some of the slapstick, the funny faces, the gags, and the straight guy kind of humor, where it has one person who's a joke character and then one person who's just the straight guy, or the straight man, who is always there to counterbalance, so to speak, the hilarity of what some of the other characters put him through. And in watching it, I really didn't expect to get as hooked as I was. So what ends up happening in some comedies is that they will have like no overarching plot that really hooks me. And what ended up happening as a result of that is that I tend to drop some of those animes. But in watching this, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. Now, it's maybe a little bit different, because what the story is about is... Okay, here we go, relaunch again. We're slowly progressing through some of the updates, though it doesn't seem like it wants to complete all the way through. And until that happens, we're not... Oh, wait, I forgot. I need to make a tweet that I've started. Whoops, that's my bad. Even though I'm already live, so... already live. Forgot to update, but you don't remember that. Okay, there we go. So... the reason why this hooked me a little bit more is because there's an overarching plot that is easily tying the whole story together, and for that reason it hooked me more than normal. So it feels like every single time or every single episode there is some kind of progression being made, whereas to other comedy animes, it doesn't feel like there's always this meta progression that I can then lean back on when I want to find the story interesting. So sometimes if you're just not enjoying the comedy of a show, what ends up happening is that you kind of tune out and then you don't have much else to pay attention to besides the comedy itself, whereas with a show like this, because it has an overarching plot and it is very comedic focused or comedy focused, you can focus on either the comedy or the story. So if something wasn't wholly appealing to me in that moment, I was able to instead focus on the story. But thing is, I enjoyed the whole thing throughout. So I didn't need to, let's say, drown out what was going on. I could just focus entirely on, what's it called? I could focus entirely on both the comedy and the story. So I really enjoyed it. And not only that, but when it came to the ending and when it came to some of the reveals, oh my gosh, it didn't feel like it came out of nowhere, and I really, really loved it. Of all things, I did not expect a comedy anime to have a plot twist in it. And very seldom do you get something like a plot twist more closer to the end of an anime, of a comedy anime. I think what's surprising me most of all is that it was a comedy anime, and it had such a good story. Like, usually, and yeah, I can expect that maybe it's the case for some comedy animes, and that, of course, it's not unique in that sense, but I thought it was really gripping with how it did it, and so I feel like it elevates it above what it might otherwise be. Of course, that is the whole verbiage of elevating something. So, yeah, super duper 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 recommend. Excuse me. Super duper recommend. The Cautious Hero is Overly Cautious. Really, really good. I have not read the manga, however, so maybe I should give that a try, though I don't know if it continues beyond the point of the anime, and maybe, just maybe, it's a Saiki Kusuo moment, or a Saiki K moment, wherein some of the elements of the anime, or nearly most of them, are adapted so well that you can kind of interexchangeably watch them, though obviously having more of the content and revisiting some of the jokes is just as fun. But at least in comparison, Saiki K had only a couple of jokes that were cut out, but even then the anime and their seasons included them at the end as like, oh, here's a gag about how the anime had to differ, which was meta and also really funny. I think I would place it really high up to where I also would place Saiki K, because Saiki K is a really, really well done comedy anime, and it's also very entertaining in the sense that there's always something going on, even though that minor something going on is never really a major plot development or whatever, but at least it has a modicum of, like, different things happening. Also, I'm noticing that Hytale, it doesn't update or it doesn't download everything and play until all the way through. So even though I've downloaded 30 megabytes, it crashes and then it forces me to reload it or re-download it. That's really unfortunate. I don't know why that's the case. I wanted to play Hytale. I wanted to read some of the dev notes or the patch notes and then talk a little bit about that, but if this isn't gonna load, then I don't know. I really don't know. I wonder if there's maybe something talking online about this. Hytale download not downloading? Or update not downloading? Updates. In which case, yeah, I don't like some of these top comments. It's like, oh yeah, ensure you have enough disk space. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my multiple terabyte SSD has enough space. I'm pretty sure. Let's see, maybe just restarting the entire thing will work. I'll give this maybe like another 5-ish minutes or so. 5 to 10 minutes. And we'll see if it works then. Otherwise, I'll just have to swap to Chaos Zero Nightmare. And then I'll talk a little bit more crap then. Unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate. Because I did want to play Hytale today. But it seems that today is not my day. And I just can't get it to run. Who knew that we'd have a little bit of a scuff stream? This is entirely my fault at behest of attempting to download the patch during stream instead of trying to do it beforehand. But, you know, if it wasn't going to work anyway, would we have streamed Hytale anyway? No, probably not. Unfortunately, I can't even play on the previous version. So let's change this. We need to change the title a little bit in that case. First a little bit of talking, and then gaming. So then we'll do some CZN gameplay instead. That's always a little bit reliable. Not replicable. What on earth? And then games. More games. Unlimited games. So we'll do that. And then I need to rename the YouTube stream as well if this isn't going to comply with me. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. So, oh well. Hopefully it works the next time I want to stream this game. Maybe? Ugh. You know, it's never a fun thing to try and play a game and then have it just not work. So we'll see eventually. I wanted to, or I intended to, use it as a little bit of a content thing as well. I need to begin putting out shorts, and I need to begin making some clips. So I thought, what better way to start it than to play a little bit of Hightail, you know? So not bad. As for, oh, excuse me. As for what we do now, I'm thinking CZN. CZN is always my good old reliable one, and it is actually the end of the week, so I've yet to do any of my dailies. And that kind of brings me to... Oh my goodness, do I have to do an update to CZN as well? No, okay, it just started a patch. Nice. Man, is anything gonna work today? I'm not gonna cancel stream because everything is updating, but jeez, I was literally booting it up not too long ago, and then I restarted the instance. So, yeah, not everything is going to plan, but, you know, if you can worm your way around it, work your way around it as well, not too bad. So, another thing that I'm curious of is, even though Just Chatting has so many viewers on it, I wonder if there's actually any discoverability related to that, because it doesn't feel like it. Like, yes, you can sometimes have people tuning in and whatever, but very seldom do people actually stay. And that's another thing that I've been kind of curious about, is even though people persist maybe in a stream for 9 or so seconds, they don't really stick around or attempt to interact, and it's in part because maybe some people are just willing to lurk, and that's entirely fine. But when it comes to actual engagement and attempting to have more people listen in, you kind of want, I don't know, a couple of viewers in order to have that snowball effect where you're then able to stream to more people. At least from what I notice, it feels like if you are at 1 viewer, obviously yourself, aka 0 viewers, or even actually just 1 viewer, maybe even 1 actual viewer besides oneself, that it's really difficult to gain more of an audience that way. So I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I can otherwise see how this goes. I'm now going to swap over to the Chaos Zero Nightmare, I think, and we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking that it should be a-okay, but yeah, okay. No, it's booted up now. I need to just turn on the music for it, or the audio. Yeah, there we go. And now there's audio. And then OBS will swap over. The game audio needs to be Chaos Zero Nightmare. The window will be Chaos Zero Nightmare. And then we'll do this. Main screen. Transition. I can now pause my music. And we are good to go. Okay, now I'll swap to the correct category now that all my updates are done. If anyone joins while I was on Just Chatting and now I'm over onto Chaos Zero Nightmare, apologies, I was just updating everything because Hightail wasn't working. So my original plans to play that went out the window. So I was just talking a little bit. But now I can, I suppose, swap over. So yeah, for those just tuning into this part of the stream, Hi. I'm now playing video games. Wow. I love video games. Who doesn't love video games? I'm also going to get my ass kicked. Most likely. Very likely. In fact, it's nigh certain at this point. Chaos Zero Nightmare, for those uninformed, is a roguelike deck builder. So, it's pretty fun. I actually really enjoy it. The biggest thing about this is that it's more like Slay the Spire, but you have stat attributes and everything as well. So I really enjoy it for a lot of the like different elements. Oh man, I don't actually have enough. Oh well, I'll just have to make do without it. So it's a little bit like Slay the Spire, but you have stat influences that work in your favor. So for instance, you can level up a character and for that reason they gain more attack, defense, critical chance, etc. As well as having like item sets as you would maybe with other gacha games. So really enjoy it. However, I kind of suck at this. And in fact, I'm going to make sure that I suck less at this by erasing her memories of my defeat. So we'll ignore that part. And then hopefully this should make this a little bit easier. And now I should be able to just, yeah, okay, it's disabled now. I think I might lose. It's like 90% possible, but I did somehow manage to beat a level 103 stage, so maybe a level 112 stage isn't too far to my reach. Also, I should have upgraded all of this. You know, whatever. We'll get through it. I can't believe Mika isn't actually leveled up to maximum considering how much I use her, but I don't know. It should be fine. So, yeah, recently gone way more into just watching a lot more anime. I'm now trying to think of what the previous one I watched was. I think it was a Wild Last Boss has appeared, and that one was also really good. In fact, the ending song for that, man, it is so good. I love the ending song to that because it is just such a beat. I love that groove. Story was also pretty interesting. It's like a soul possession kind of isekai instead of the traditional kind where the main protagonist is reincarnated into a new world. Instead, they possess the body and therefore have their soul enter into the body of an existing character, which is a little bit of a unique-ish take of it. I think there's been something like that, but for the most part, a lot of the isekais that I see are either like ARGs or VR MMO-esque, like, oh, what if all the people in here are alive? Something a la Infinite Dendrogram, which is also really good. Actually, didn't that get an anime recently? Maybe that's something worth looking into. I'm wondering if I go for the forbidden cards, in which case I should go this way, but that puts me right next to an elite. Though if I can get the morale increasing card as a monster card, I'll probably be okay. Either route here doesn't really matter, so we can go down. And so the Wild Last Boss, a Wild Last Boss appeared. Was pretty good. It's... how to describe it? It is more like a journey action adventure. It is featuring a bit of an overpowered protagonist, but I think by the end of the season there is a reveal that there are obviously more stronger foes out there. So that was pretty interesting. I don't think I'd place it like way at the top of my would I recommend this show to people, but it was still an enjoyable watch. Overall, I'd say it was fun. I liked it. It maybe isn't for everyone, though. I'm a little bit of an isekai slash magic enjoyer slopper, so I'll eat that shit up real easy. I love my isekai stuff. Especially when there's a whole bunch of magic and whatnot involved, which is why I really enjoyed the comedy influence in Cautious Hero, or the hero is overly cautious, really good, super duper solid, and it kind of makes me think I need to go back and revisit some of the comedy animes that I've seen before. Again, I've watched like all of Saiki K, I've watched some of Konosuba, I've watched Asobi Asobase, all of these ones, but I felt like that one somehow stood out to me more, but it could just be because it's like right up my alley whenever it comes to some fantasy games, or fantasy animes, I mean. So, kind of preferential towards it, but at the same time, really enjoyed it. Also, the ending, I think it was, or maybe it was the opening, is made by Mythenroid. Like, damn! Really, really good soundtrack as well. So, opening and ending, really nice. And the comedy, though slapstick at times, really enjoyed it. I think, as well, one of the really difficult things is that when you have a very large focus on doing comedy of sorts in either anime or in shows, whatever, you end up sometimes focusing too much on it. And therefore, or as a result, people don't usually focus as much on other elements of the show, but I feel like for this one, there was a lot of comedy that I both enjoyed and was able to enjoy the story at the same time. So, really good for like every metric. I'm trying to think if there was anything that particularly stood out as maybe, oh, this doesn't make it 10 out of 10. Because when something's 10 out of 10, it has to do either something really unique, something special, or whatever for me to give it this ruling of, oh man, I thought she had an epiphany left. To give it this feeling of, I highly recommend this, and I would even say that it's a must-watch. So, I don't feel like there was anything specific to that. I would say if you like fantasy or if you like comedy anime, really, 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 really good. Absolutely adored it for that reason. So I managed to binge watch a whole bunch of it. Increased damage of the next counterattack. Isn't that a little bit limiting because it's 1? I don't know. I'll do, how much? So with crystallization, it says 20% fixed. Is it really worth doubling that? That I'm not sure. Why would you not just, maybe I guess I could get the impair? So, whatever. I can get the item that allows me to impair based on whether or not I block something fully via shield. In that case, it could be better. But, we'll see if I even get to that point. So, yeah. Is it something that I would recommend? Yes. But is it something that I would, like, massively recommend? I don't know. That depends. Do people enjoy as much of fantasy comedy anime as I do? Well, if the answer is yes, then probably. Otherwise, I know there was one manga that I was reading lately, but honestly, I've been trying to get more into light novels and everything again. In fact, I've tried to read a couple of web novels that have just been published by the actual author themselves, so not that they have an official publisher, and then I've been having to try use, what's it called? Like an auto-translator or attempt to read some of the Japanese that it's written in. And those I really enjoy. I've tried reading some of them. It's of course pretty difficult, and sometimes the translation is lost a little bit because obviously there can be in-jokes and there can be characters that aren't necessarily representative of what they're actually saying. And even though I can still read it, I still enjoy it. It's still a bit of a challenge. Maybe too much of a challenge at some points. But you know, I'm trying, I enjoy it, and for that reason I'll continue. It's in fact how I got around to, oh, what was the name of it? There was one that was called Dungeon Seeker, which I ended up reading as a result of something like that, because it never had a manga, and the only adaptation that it had at that point in time, oh, a monster card. Increase action count by 1? No, I don't think so. For a 40 cost for my faint memory? Probably not. Dungeon Seeker was pretty okay. It was pretty okay. Main reason why I ended up reading it in the first place was just because it was something different, but I don't know if I'd really suggest it. But it was one of those that ended up becoming a manga, and then I think maybe it's getting an anime. I don't know. Sometimes with manga, usually that sets them on track to gain an anime, but it's highly variable on like what the state of, I guess, anime at that point in time is. For instance, there was this one that was talking about, it was a bit of a parody, where instead of, well, a lot of people were isekai to this world, and this is the premise to it. A lot of people are isekai to this world, and the story follows one of the residents of that world trying to expel the isekai people from his world. So that was a pretty cool premise, but it very quickly got canned because it shared too many resemblances, or the isekai characters showed a lot of resemblance to other ones, other isekai characters. So that's a bit of a shame, but at least it existed and the concept is there. But oh well. Oh, I kind of think for 1 turn 2 fortitude, or I can do agony and then vulnerability. So that's at least 3 vulnerability. I kind of think no, because oh, this is difficult. I kind of want to do shield, because then at least this is still vulnerability to all enemies, which makes it a little bit more reliable. And I know this seems a little bit counterintuitive, because a lot of the gameplay in this has you focused mostly on dealing a lot of damage and killing enemies quick. But if you do kill enemies quick, you don't take much stress, but if you don't kill them quick, then they kill you quick, because you've got no way to heal. And considering that I'm fighting things that are about 50 to 60 levels above my own, and this one's an elite, because of course he is, if you fight them that high up, or that high of level difference, you'll probably die in like a couple of turns. Without a lot of healing. That's why I'm running both Mika and Magna, because that was the only way that I managed to get through the level 100 something something, was it 103? Yeah, 103 run previously. Besides that, I don't know if it was even that good of an idea to, oh, Anchor Shot's got an epiphany. I keep pulling this Portrait of Fury. He keeps reshuffling my deck, and then I've pulled it twice on the first turn each time. Not very cool. Also, don't know how I'm apparently using... Okay, here we go. Here's Deluge, but I don't know if that's going to be any good or not. Well, I'll hold... No, actually, I'll use Blessing of Waves now. I want to be at full HP. I don't know when I'm going to get the chance to heal again. See, he's shuffling it again, and now I'm going to get the cursed card again. I've got no chance. He keeps doing this shit to me. Come on, dude. Chill. Also used a random card, not nice, and then we'll get rid of the overload. I don't even get a chance, and then he's gonna increase his morale. Really, dude? Kind of. Yeah, there we go. Portrait of Fury again, of course. So I'll do this. Can I at least wait? It's gonna no. Oh my gosh, man. Reduce the next cost. Create cards, combo, or increase damage. Honestly, increasing damage is probably more reliable at this point, because I just want to keep fishing it out of the deck. But yeah, as for this run in general, why do they keep using random cards at the beginning of the turn? Why are they doing that? So very, very silly. I wonder what would help my deck right now. And he shuffled my deck, and I immediately drew Portrait of Fury again. How is this possible? How is this possible? Why is this happening? Please, genuinely, can I stop drawing that card? I don't even have that many cards in my deck, and I've drawn that card 4 times first time, and he's just reshuffled my deck. This is crazy. Genuinely. Oh my goodness. Please. Can I just... I should have left that card in hand, but man, I'm just going insane. Is he really going to make me reshuffle again? No, but he is going to increase his HP again. Or his morale. Okay, let's see. I have got quite a bit there, but I think I'll hold on to some more counterattack stacks, and that way that I can... Look, he's reshuffling it, and I swear I'm going to draw it, like, next turn or something, right? So, water. Okay, this is really quite bad. Maybe it's worth activating it now? It is kind of a guaranteed one, though. Because the downside of doing this is that it will reshuffle my ego skill deck, which I don't really want. I don't really want to reshuffle it, because if I reshuffle it, then what ends up happening is I just never find that skill when I need it next. So it did decrease his damage, like, minor here, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. At least it's a lot of counterattacks, and of course, Portrait of Fury again. Why did I expect anything else? Then we'll Water Barrier. I mean, really, look at how many cards I've drawn. I've drawn 2 hands, and I've somehow had it in the first or second opening hand every single time. Really? Okay, Water Arrow, because I cannot do anything else, and then we'll build up some stacks. Now he's going to make me reshuffle my deck again, and I'm not even going to have a chance. Yep, and then I'm going to draw Portrait of Fury again. Yep, there we go. Of course, I can't even get rid of him this turn. Please, dude, I just one turn. Let me deal damage 1 turn. I hate Portrait of Fury, actually. I really hate it. Okay, I would lose this turn, but thankfully I got an attack the turn before. So, oh my gosh. Okay, maybe, you know what? Never, ever, ever will I pick up any forbidden cards again when I'm doing this, because this just sucks. This genuinely just sucks. I don't think it's worth picking up the forbidden cards. Always go to the second, what's it called? Dimension tunnel, instead of picking up this one. Ugh, it's so unfortunate. I do think that they are cool cards, but they do feel a little bit too detrimental at times. In cases like these, the fact that I'm basically playing with the debuff for what is somewhat of a mediocre card. I mean, it's very good if you have a lot of card draw, and I'm hoping to put it on Mika just to have more card draw, because she really doesn't have a lot of good cards whatsoever. We'll get rid of Whirlpool. Yeah, is it worth getting rid of it? I mean, it heals a little bit, right? So maybe it will eventually, possibly, potentially be useful. I don't know. We'll get rid of it. I don't want to draw it, and I don't want the basic attacks. Then I've got 386 gold. We can attach this to make it so we at least heal. I really want that lead card. Was this 20% bonus shield? No, at the start of battle. Oops, misread that. We could get Lush Seaweed. This would be good for, oh, actually, I should have put this maybe on Haru instead, because Lush Seaweed armor is actually really good when gaining shield. Maybe I put that onto Haru now, because this being on the second turn doesn't help me much. Then I'll... Belligerence, yes. I'll put that on Magna. And then I need that one lead card, which I did not get. Maybe I'll get it? No. Maybe I'll get it? No. Maybe I'll get it? No. Unfortunate. Let's see if we can find it somewhere else as a drop. Because that one makes it so that I spend way less, way less AP. Also don't have to, I think it still counts as one progressing 1 turn, per se. Or 1 action whenever you have a lead card automatically triggered by that, but also, is it worth getting rid of these? Do I have any AoE attacks? I have that one by Haru, so maybe I should just focus on Anchor Shot here, because I think he's going to kill all of the ads as soon as I get him below a certain threshold of his HP anyway. Only downside is that now he's weakening me, but some of the auto attacks should get rid of that. So we'll do this, then Frost Charge, then Ice Wall, and we'll attack all of them. He is attacking me this turn, yep. Yep, then that should work out. I'm thinking if I do build Magna a bit, I'm hoping that I can get the Epiphany for Belligerence. That will give her 1 AP for drawing more. See, this was the one that I was hoping. Oh, whoops. I wanted to use Glacial Iron Fist there instead. I want to undo the last action. Yep. Didn't mean to do that. I think that's the first time I've I've ever actually used that. There we go. It didn't actually make much of a difference. Never mind. So maybe that was pointless. I could... How many buffs do I have? I have 4 buffs. And even if I did that, I would still only be able to use 1 card. So probably not worth it. I can try get a... what's it called? I can try get the Ravage State Inflicted for next time. Of course, I've got... That's also another thing that I wasn't sure. It's damage of the next cards, but that doesn't affect my counter-attack whatsoever. So I think I should be okay. Unfortunately, I have just drawn a bunch of fluff in this case. So I can heal, I suppose, to full, or maybe... No, Charge Energy doesn't have the Epiphany on it yet. I'll do Waves. I don't know, I play so much more differently whenever it comes to level 114 enemies as opposed to like the 103s, because they're just, well, I mean they are way more beefy, for sure, but oh, right, this is decreased. Now that makes things a little bit difficult, because I don't even deal tenacity damage without dealing proper damage first. So I'll do this, maybe Belligerence gets an Epiphany for AP, counterattack or Fortitude. I could do Fortitude because I don't actually have much. So we'll do Fortitude, and then we'll do Anchor Shot here because I need to try increase its damage. And yeah, counterattack still applies, so that's not too bad. Then we'll apply this, then I can build or generate a lot more counterattack stacks. Now, because he's attacking me, I'll do Ice Wall here. And honestly, I'm thinking I might use this now, just so that I can try trigger 2 more cards. Because then I'll be able to do an Anchor Shot and build up even more damage on it for the next time it rolls around. Though unfortunately, now Magna's gone insane, which sucks. And now there's 3 of them. I think that increases his morale, right? Hopefully I can get Magna this time. No, I did not get her this time. Then we'll have to do that, and then I'll honestly hold on to all of these cards. Getting rid of Lift Anchor is something I try to do fairly early on, because what otherwise ends up happening is that it's just a dead card in hand, and you eventually draw so many cards in hand in general. Oh yes, a critical hit, got rid of all of them. Nice, nice. Now let's see if I can survive a little bit longer. So they're gonna keep gaining Fortitude because I have that debuff, which makes it really annoying to deal damage later and later on. And unfortunately, I'm playing a little bit of a slow deck, but trust me when I say that I played, or I picked all of the things I have now specifically because it was the easiest one. And yeah, that means that I am attempting to play the easiest, not Fates, but Chaos Manifestation that I was able to pick from. And this was the easiest one. It sounds unrealistic, but man, unfortunate is what it is. So even though I would have gone for something easier, of course I have to draw Portrait of Fury, of course. Tactical Analysis as well, at least that gains me 1, then I'll use Water Barrier. I could use Blessing of Waves, but I already used up my AP. I didn't know that I would gain 1 because I had already used the cards. So that's a little bit annoying. We've got Source of Water, we'll get rid of the burn, then we'll use Anchor Pointer, and then hopefully I can deal a little bit more damage. No, of course I can't. We'll do this, we'll do this. No, does that deal damage? Barely. Oh, but that's because his Fortitude is so high. Then we'll have to use this, I think. And then I'll have to heal. I think I've lost, basically. Man, that Portrait, it just screwed me over so bad. I wish I had the option to just never pick it up in the first place. Good gosh. And then 0 again, really? Okay, we'll do this, we'll do this. Man, this sucks so bad. I'm also just nigh incapable. I think the only way that I can beat this boss is to somehow build up enough counterattack stacks to then use Magna's ego skill. We'll use Frost Charge. We'll use Anchor Shot. I think that's the closest I can get. And then we'll have to use Frozen Fist, but unfortunately I am dead. So this doesn't help me much. Yeah, can I do anything else? No, I can't. Yeah, it's game over. Unfortunate. That was really quick. I think entirely it was the portrait of whatever, the curse card that screwed me over this run. I'm never taking the forbidden cards again. You know what? Note taken. Or note made. Maybe I can get through this boss either way, but it is Magna that lost out, so... okay. Whatever. It doesn't have any vulnerable... Oh, actually, can I defeat him still? Yeah, I can still defeat him. Though I basically just have to retreat. That's unfortunate. Man, if only that weren't the case. Copy card, what do I want to do? I can just do this one. Honestly, I wanted to gain that one item that allows me to, what's it called? That allows me to trigger a random lead card in hand. Also, I'm using this now because it's end of the week. And then we'll do temporary return because I can't remove the broken link status. Okay, thanks for putting me back at the main menu, even though I wanted to go to Chaos. Very cool. Chaos, and then Zero System, and go back here. Escape. Yep. Are you sure? I am actually called Og, or Augur. So, okay. OMG, hi, hello, hello, how's it going? I was originally intending to play Hytale today, but for whatever reason, Hytale is not downloading the update past 13%, and even though I click on it, or retry the update, it doesn't save progress, so it gets stuck at 13%, and then it just forever gets stuck there. Sucks so badly. I have no clue why that's the case. Yeah, exactly, right? So, plans changed a little bit from trying to play Hytale today to instead playing Chaos Era Nightmare. You know, I'm trying to do, sucks ass. Yeah, exactly. Also, I'm just realizing, for whatever reason, the chat is including that one bot from earlier, and I need to... Maybe I'll just refresh the chat. I just realized it now when I looked on screen. How very annoying that it's basically getting free advertising. Let's see. Chat, then I'll refresh it. And there we go. Now it should be fine. Okay, so I'm trying to instead, or my plans are instead today for Chaos Era Nightmare to try and beat this level 112, what's it called, Chaos Manifestation. But man, it's way more difficult than expected. I, for whatever reason, decided... oh, you know what? I've got enough. I don't need to increase their potential anymore. And then look at them. I've not even upgraded their potential enough in the first place. So, joke's on me. I'm the dumb one here. Apparently, I don't even have Haru done that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Whatever then. I'm apparently playing suboptimally. So, I'll need to grind for more of their resources later on. But this time... I failed the first run because picking one of the forbidden cards just completely screwed me over. So this time, I'm not going to pick that card. I also was talking a little bit about some of the anime I was watching earlier. I know you enjoy Asobi Asabase, don't you, Kaya? I watched this anime recently, or just finished it today, called The Cautious Hero is Overly Cautious. It is... super duper good. Would really, really recommend it if you get the chance. Yeah. Asobi Asabase is really fun. I super recommend The Cautious Heroes Overly Cautious. It's like very similar in terms of the kind and style of humor, and I really enjoyed the story as well. So I was speaking about it a little bit earlier, but what ends up happening with some of the like comedy shows that people tend to watch or recommend or whatever is that they will either do one of two things where they have a plot and then not really focus on it, or they'll have... oh my gosh, that's a... oh wait, no, I'm not going to the damage. Or they'll have a lot of comedy, but if the comedy doesn't land and you try to focus on the story, then you can't really enjoy the story because there's not much there to enjoy. And then if you focus a lot on the story, then there's not really much comedy for you to enjoy. So what I really liked about this one was that it felt like it had both a good story and a lot of humor that I enjoyed. And at the same time, I feel like it's a little bit rare, but I don't often see, and maybe this is a bit of a spoiler, so close your ears if you don't want to hear. I'm gonna say something really quick, but there is a plot twist at the end or in the second last episode, and it's so good. It made me really invested, but man, it was already the end of it. So with that being the case, there's not more for me to consume. And then when I check, I need to check if the manga actually continued from that point, but I really didn't expect to love it that much. I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10, and the only reason why I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10 is because I don't think it's like a must-watch or a must-read, but it has a lot of good humor that I really enjoy. Or, I mean, some of it is like appealing to everyone, and some of it is a little bit of slapstick. Yeah, pretty high score, I'd say. Because I just really enjoyed it. Like, thoroughly so. So, I'd say it was pretty good. Oh, let's get this and then throw down a Magnus so that activates a lead card each turn. Pretty cheap. As for, like, some of the other shows that I've watched, and this is one of the contrasts that I think it does differently, is that whenever I get into some comedy animes, it's that I feel like either the humor is or isn't for me, but anytime that this show had a little bit of downtime, I always felt like, oh, well, I can just focus on the story then, or I can focus on the comedy when the story isn't that interesting. And so in either part, it tends to carry itself. And I feel like that's kind of an important part about comedies to keep them entertaining, is that you want to try have some part of it that's still gripping to the audience. So even if they don't feel wholly or 100% invested in one particular part of it, then they just continue to watch because, oh, well, now I'm invested in the plot. So, oh, okay, very nice. I'm wondering if that is actually the best epiphany. Probably not. I think the draw one is the best epiphany for that. But, oh well. We will continue here. Maybe I can get the monster card. So, yeah, I think it's really recommended if you enjoyed things like Asobi Asabase. I'm actually pretty easy to entertain, so I'm not overly picky. Yeah, I mean, that's cool and all, but I'm a little bit picky. But then again, I'm actually pretty generous and pretty easy on most like isekai / fantasy slop. I just love fantasy. I love magic. I love fantasy. I really can't get enough of it, and I will put myself through what is only described as hiatus hell in order to watch and consume more of it. So I think I've got like 100+ manga that I've just not finished because they're not finished, and I can't do anything else. I just have to wait for them to eventually be done. So kind of sucks, but you know, I'm patient enough in that sense. Oh, I shouldn't have attacked him. Apply 2 vulnerable or plus 90 upon critical hit. I'll do this one. I really wanted the upgrade that would allow me to decrease or reduce the total cost of that card. But yeah, Somnolent Fruits. I don't usually use it because it's fairly conditional and has to be the last card in your hand, but at least it's exhausted. The title again. The Cautious Hero is Overly Cautious, I think it was. I can double check my watched list. Give me a couple of seconds. Cautious. Yeah, Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. It's somewhat of a gag anime, but man, I really enjoyed it. Really, really, really good. So I highly recommend it. And also, I don't know how much into the J-pop scene you are, no problem. But I think it was either the opening or the ending is made by Mythenroid, and man, I love Mythenroid. So the soundtrack is just killer. I love it. I didn't even realize it was from that show until I watched it, because crazy thing is, or maybe not crazy thing, but I download basically every single album of my favorite artists on like Spotify, and then it shows me their newly released ones. So sometimes I'll just figure out or find that an anime exists solely because I've got their album or the opening song in one of the artist's albums that I listen to. So that was the sort of the case this time. So into it, yeah. Myth and Roids, they never miss. They make some incredibly good music. I absolutely love most of their music. I don't know if there's any that I don't like, actually, but I'm pretty big into J-pop and that entire avenue or scene. So, maybe a little bit biased. Then again, I feel like so many anime openings are genuinely good. One of the later ones, or recent ones that I'd listened to was from, what was it called? A Wild Lass Boss appeared. And man, the song to that, really good. Also, I'm now realizing that this guy keeps getting... Okay, I could defeat him now. And honestly, maybe I should. This is going to be really difficult because them gaining Fortitude, which is 20% damage reduction every 3 turns, is just really screwing me up. It's making this really difficult. When defeating an enemy, I kind of want to put this on Mika. I don't really like this. I'll do this on Haru, actually. And yeah. As for what I want to watch next, I'm not really sure. If anyone has a suggestion, feel free to pitch it. But I've actually got a little bit of a list. Let me see if I can find it. I want to maybe watch the Devil May Cry anime, the old one, and then I feel like I should finish some of the old ones that I had started but stopped. I also want, but your name is so similar to, so wait, I heard someone saying that says, I heard some saying that says ochre, and that means okay, but your name is so similar to it, ogre. Well, I'm not an ogre, but that's so mean. I can't believe you'd ever... You're gonna make me cry. Sort of. Augur and ogre? No, not really. They're not homophones. Why can't you read? I can read! I can read! It's you! You're illiterate, not me. Wahahaha. Yeah, whatever you say. Witch. Whatever you say. I can read perfectly fine. Also, I'm scrolling through my my watched anime list or whatever, or what I want to watch next. I think the only one I have left is To Be Hero X. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else on my to watch list. I'll take this because my weeklies. I'm no witch, I'm a magical girl. I don't know, the warts on your nose say otherwise. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, mate. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. First time, first chatter, first words ever spoken. It's like being inundated into the stream to begin speaking. Thank you. Also, it hasn't shown on my activity feed, and for whatever reason, the Twitch alerts didn't notify, so I will do it manually. Thank you for following. I really appreciate it. I stream every single day. Not at the same times. On weekends, I stream at... What was it? Was it 5 p.m. UTC? Or was it... Yeah, 5 p.m. UTC or 6 p.m. GMT +1, which I think ends up... Yeah, I think that's what it ends up being. So... and then on weekdays... I always stream at the same time, but I think it was around 8 p.m. UTC. Anyways, that being said, another finale card. Don't want that. Resolve. Probably better one for this roundup. Not too sure. So I'm not sure what I'm going to watch next, but I did. What's your main character? I love playing Rei. Rei is probably my favorite one by far. Truth of the incident? Yeah, I kind of want this artifact. Rei is my favorite character. Her kit, maybe not like amazing, but I really, really like both the character and just the cards themselves. So that's a lot of fun. But actually, I've been really enjoying Magna. Magna is a really cool character as well. I like the fact that she kind of depends on counterattacks, though I think she's a little bit weak. But who's your favorite character? Do you play a lot of Chaos Zero Nightmare? I've played... I think I started playing it like a week after it came out, only because that's when I heard of it. I didn't play it before then because I didn't know of it back then. But yeah. Also, should I get rid of Lift Anchor maybe? Or maybe I get rid of Power Anchor. I don't need any more 2-cost cards. That's just a default or a basic. So that's fine. New to this. Yeah, I think Chaos Zero Nightmare is really good in terms of like allowing you to play with a lot of characters, so trying to find a new character that you like is pretty difficult. Like, Teresa for now. Yeah. I think it was... in the beginning when I started, I got Mei Ling as my first. Select and obtain 1 neutral. Yeah, hopefully I can get Belligerence. Oh, nat 20? Crit, maybe? Smile? No. So I first started out with Mei Ling, and she was a lot of fun, but I didn't have any of the good support characters that would like really bring her up to the next level for it. So what ended up happening was I played with her, and then it just wasn't as fun, but now that I have Selena, it's way more fun. So I feel like there are conditionally some characters that get way, way, way better if you have other characters to play them with. And I think it's quite interesting to pick a favorite character in that sense, or having a main character, because it can entirely depend on composition at that point. But I really do like, was it Trissa's like Shadow Daggers? Shadow Daggers are a lot of fun to use, and I like the agony damage. I just like seeing a whole bunch of numbers pop up on my screen because I don't like 1,000 plus due to how many stacks I've applied. And when playing during the season event, it was also really, it was just really powerful to have a whole bunch of those stack. And got Luke and Hugo on the same 8-pull. Dude, that's insane. That's crazy lucky. Man, I'm envious. Anytime I try to, well, maybe not envious because they're boys, because I like cute girls, but I've always had to hit pity in order to get any 5-star. I nearly confused it for Enfield there, because those are 6 stars. For any 5-star, I've always had to get pity. And anytime I'm rolling for the banner unit, I've always had to hit the first failed coin flip and then get the actual, like, character on the banner. Same, Agony is so satisfying, right? And then when you get the Epiphany on Tressa's card for, what was it, Vital Strike, that allows you to deal damage depending on how many stacks of Agony you have. Oh my gosh. Just seeing the huge damage numbers, insane. I love it. It's such a satisfying feeling, just seeing the entire health bar melt away. And then I just like the sound effects as well. It feels a little bit like hit scan per se, with Agony applying. You know, when you play at least Call of Duty, that old hit scan sound effect, it's like or the ticking anytime it deals damage. So I don't know, I find that really satisfying as well. It's really fun. And though recently, because of what was it, Sereniel's edition, I really like the laser... Was it homing laser? I think it was homing laser. The homing laser cards as well. Those are also really fun, just to take down the entire tenacity bar and deal a whole bunch of ravage damage, and then get all of your cards back and just to loop that infinitely. And then with Selena, who gets the Epiphany to refresh the tenacity bar, also really, really satisfying. I think another thing is, like, do you have a favorite chaos manifestation? So what deck are you grinding right now? I'm not grinding any deck right now. I'm just trying to beat this. It's a level 112 or 114, I forget which one it is, chaos manifestation. So I'm doing anything and everything I possibly can to try and... Wait, which one should I go for? Fortitude or Resolve? I think Fortitude. Yeah, I'm trying to do anything and everything that I can to try and beat this. So I'm playing a little bit suboptimally because I don't know why, but I just completely missed out on the fact that, oh, I don't have all of the potential of Haru and Ragna or even Mika built out. I only have, I think, Magna or Haru at like just one node below maximum. So maybe not the best. I honestly could have done better in that regard, but you know, I managed to beat level 103 somehow. So it's working. I managed to get through this boss once before, but I got really unlucky with the modifiers on this chaos manifestation. I got every 3 turns they gain fortify, but the only way that I can survive is basically by playing a stall deck. So any enemy that heals, I just immediately cannot deal with. It's kind of unfortunate, but at least with some of this, I'm kind of getting through. It just depends on how many attack cards I can get through. Unfortunate for me, however, I don't know if this run is going to work out. I'm hoping that this run works out, but kind of unsure. I think if I was going to grind out a deck next, I might do one. I need to try. Was it from? Yeah, I think I still need one for Magna, actually. What's this, level 100s? I'm not familiar with it. Oh, so basically, I guess I'll show you. Maybe I can temporarily return either once I win, if I win. Every single Chaos Manifestation, at least when you're playing in the Zero system, has an associated level with it. So you have the Codex level, and then you have the actual stage level. And the stage level determines what level the enemies will be at. So all of it is like somewhat uniform in the sense that if the Chaos Manifestation says level 70, all the enemies will be level 70 with no variances. And if you pick Codex level, that determines what the maximum level of the Chaos Manifestation will be. So if it's like Codex level 3, I think it's around level 40 to 50. And if it's Codex level 4, then it's around 50 to 60 and so on and so forth. And then depending on what level of Codex you play, the more rewards you get. And if you play at a higher level, beyond 10, there's not actually any more benefits to it yet. I think they said in the patch notes for the 2nd of February that they were going to add more Codex levels, which means more rewards. But for now, there's no difference. So the maximum level, per se, is Codex level 10. But actual enemies can still scale way beyond that. Like in this case, where they're level 110 or 112, I think? One of those. Also, unfortunate. I could beat him now. You know what? It should be fine. I need to get rid of Haru's mental break. It's... Oh, okay. Never mind. I didn't even get the chance to. So I'm trying to build a better deck for Magna, but I've been playing basically the Zero Manifestation this entire time. So I've not really had... Oh, 20 shield gain? Don't mind if I do. Wait, no, that removes her lead. I want that one. Okay. We'll do... What could I put on Haru? Is there any... I think there is one, but it's rare. A rare artifact that I could put on Haru, but I think I'm going to bank on this just because of the 20 damage amount. So, that's probably for the better. I don't think the... what's it called? The defensive capabilities really outweigh it. So I'll do a temporary return and then I can show you. And then I'll come back. I'm not done with this run yet, but there's my wife Ray on the main screen. And then Zero System. So in here, ignore the Chaos Matrix level. You have your Codex record, and this is just achievements. and then you have upgrading, and then you max these out depending on what you play. But then in the codex itself, oh no, it doesn't let me show you. In this screen, there would be a side slot here showing 3 different chaos manifestations, and those are like randomly rolled dungeons, so to speak, of each of the currently available planets. And each of those have the associated level and an associated codex level. Because I am at max level of that, all of them are codex level 10, which means that all of them by default have a minimum level of 70 or 80, I think. And each time you beat it, you roll 3 new random chaos manifestations with each of their own attributes or modifiers. And once you beat those, it increases the level. So this one that I'm playing, I've actually beaten, I think, 5 or 6 times before, and subsequently it becomes harder and harder. So at level 80, it then unlocked level, or let me pick between like 3 options. One of them was level 85, maybe one was level 89, and then one was level 83. And I chose 89, and then I kept repeating that, and I kept picking the highest level one, and now I'm at level 112 or 13 for the enemies. Morale, I think, is probably better here, because I don't have a lot of basic attack cards. It would have been good for Mei Ling if I had her, but I'm not running Mei Ling currently. Did you pull for Narya? No, I didn't pull for Narya. I just don't really have anyone that fits her kit that well. And when I was watching the stream, they announced in the roadmap that there was going to be a character 9. And 9 is yet another defensive character, but focused on shield, because I've kind of got enough healing and so on. So I want to see what 9's kit is like, then maybe I'll decide whether or not I go for Narya or if I go for 9. So I'll probably do it at the end of the banner instead of doing it at the beginning. I'm a little bit indecisive, but I like to make sure in that case. Plus, from some of the old leaks back in like October, I think it was, of last year, there are a couple of characters I'm saving up for anyway, so I'm trying to like half preserve my rolls, then half see, oh, is there a character that I actually want now or need? Then I'll come to the decision. If I had like big bucks and unlimited money, unlimited games, unlimited bacon, then I would probably go for rolling for Narya. Because apparently, in the dev notes as well, maybe they're doing it to try and get people to roll for her, but they said, oh yeah, Narya is going to be really good for 7, and I don't know if that's actually going to be the case. I pulled for Narya because I need damage support. Yeah, her reducing the cost of cards, just in general, dependent on how many attacks you deal, really, really good. It's just, I don't know, I want to see what 9 does first before I commit to rolling. I already, and as spoken about, I suck. My luck sucks. When I was rolling for Sereniel, I hit the first pity, and I got Luke. And then I hit the second pity, and then I got Sereniel. So unfortunately, like, I've just been drained of resources. I do have enough for 1 spark, like 1 guaranteed spark, but not the ones that I want. So yeah, it sucks. Woe is me, I suppose. But, you know, that's just how it is. I don't know if that means I should dump money on it, but I really like Sereniel, so maybe, and I'm wondering if we'll ever get alts, or if we'll ever get costumes, because in that case, I can kind of see myself doing it, kind of. Do I retain my free-to-play virgin status, or do I eventually change that? We'll have to see. The time will come eventually. But for now, I'm pretty content, except with the fact that I've hit max pity every single time. So I've just been suffering. Besides that, yeah, love the game. Not sponsored, but it's a lot of fun. I think one of my main issues, and I was actually revisiting Slay the Spire the other day, because this game has a lot of like features that are obviously inspired, but I mean, Slay the Spire is basically the progenitor of a lot of deck building roguelike card games, and revisiting it, I immediately felt like, oh man, I wish that some of the features that are in Chaos Zero Nightmare were in Slay the Spire. Like, I had the ability to upgrade my character in an RPG sense, because I actually just love RPGs that much that even just the presence of those mechanics is like, oh my gosh, that's so much fun. I love all these skills. I love them showing up, and I really like the character animations. So I was thinking to myself, damn, why couldn't we get this? The game is extremely free-to-play friendly, better than most gacha games. I know, right? It's like genuinely really good. The fact that I was able to even spark, as in hitting pity, failing the coin flip, then hit pity again and get the character. The fact that I was able to do that 2 or 3 times now, kind of nuts. I had to do it for Yuki and I had to do it for Sereniel, and now I've got the ability to do it once more. So I'm basically praying that I don't have to do this again for when 9 comes out, if I like her kits. If I don't like her kits, or if she ends up being too similar to Magna, I'm not sure. But even though I've got Luke and Hugo as well, through rolling on the standard banner, I kind of want another order unit so that I can throw her together with Yuki, but I don't know if they're like actually compatible in terms of kit, so I'll have to see. I do at least want some kind of support unit to replace having Mika in every single team, because Mika is just like insanely useful. When is 9 coming out? At the end of this banner, actually. So right after Narya, which is in a week from now, exactly a week from now. I don't know, February 2nd, but that might be Korean time. So maybe like 23rd, no, 21st, about something like that. So a little bit of ways to go. Skin/costumes are a lot of animation rework plus a lot of artwork. I only see them do this if the game is doing very good and they can afford more people to do it. Maybe on year 2 to 3 soonest, if at all. That's possible. And also, first time chatter, hello, welcome. Yeah, I think even early on in this sense, like, they've done a pretty good job. They did actually add, what was her name? Amir's background lobby, though. That's what has me thinking, like, oh, well, even if they would or were to do this later in the future, like 2 or so years into the future, then they've done it once now. Maybe they can do it again. They've also said that they would rewrite the story, but they could be occupied with that. So I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a hope, right? Then again, I'm just saying this out of, like, waifuism for Rei. Because oh wait, not Rei. Reen. Sorry, Reen. I really love Reen. She's my home screen. I think I've accidentally called her Rei, and I failed myself. My partners suck, need help with it using the 3 stars one. Yeah, mine do too. Mine do too. I've not got a single 5-star one whatsoever. I've been just rolling with the 3s and 4 stars. But to its testament, the fact that I'm able to get this far with just free-to-play 2 or 3 stars and 4-star partner, I can't speak, sorry. Partners, I think is pretty good. So, not too upset by it. And also, actually thinking about it, on points of skins and costumes, I think the fact that they've managed to do this much with what they have already is kind of testament to it. So I don't mind waiting longer. We'll see how they go about it. I know that in the beginning for Nikke, I think it did take quite a while, but not too long, actually. I think it was like by half anniversary. We'll have to see how popular this becomes. It did take like a little bit of gradual progress when it came to something like Nikke, but it's a little bit different. I think card games are more niche, at least in some cases. Slay the Spire wasn't really niche, but I don't know. I kind of wonder what was the start of or why it became so popular or blew up in popularity. I think it was just a good combination. Indeed, CZN devs have to blow out of the water any and all expectations whatsoever. The game is a space rocket and the devs are Top Gun pilots. Yeah, I really like the game. I feel like the fact that I am willing to play it as a proper game as well is like proof of how much I love it, you know? I think sometimes when it comes to gacha games, very seldom do you actually play it because you really enjoy the gameplay and don't get anything out of it. Like, even through this, yeah, I'm playing for some of the seasonal, or not even seasonal, the codex rewards. They're not technically seasonal, but it's a separate season, whatever. I'm only playing for those, but I've already maxed it out, and I'm just playing this for fun, because I enjoy it so much. And it's like a little bit of a challenge to see how far I can go, because I think PvE content is way better than PvP, because I suck at PvP. So I think if they can work the story to make people more invested in it, that's a really good start. I would love to just see more and more content. And I think maybe I'm just so excited about it, but I just want more content. I just want more content. It's like a semi-infinitely expanding, at least for now, Slay the Spire that makes me want to keep playing more, and that's one of the reasons that I really enjoy it. So we'll see how it goes with that, but I think I'll definitely continue to play it for a good while, for a very good while. And then the next update, I don't know how much you guys read about it, but I read the patch notes and I did a little stream about it, but they're adding arena cards. And those seem super interesting, like the fact that, oh, there's going to be conditionals that you apply to then add cards to your hand, I think is really cool. If there's anything that I like, it's whenever card games add some kind of combo system, per se, to it. So I think it's pretty common. Actually, I'll just read this chat and then I'll get into it because I'm going to go in a whole tangent. Do you know on whom Noel is good on? This is the only 5-star partner I have. I have no clue who Noel is. I don't have a single 5-star partner. Sorry, I can't help there. The tangent that I was going to go on is that I think what a lot of card games attempt to do or eventually end up doing is they attempt to have like combos in how you play cards. So one of the complexities that card games have is obviously playing cards in a certain order. And so where simplicity comes in is if you don't have a specified order that you play those cards in. And I think what I really like about Chaosier and Nightmare is that because of the varied amount of characters that they have, and for what cards you can play and the abilities, and because there's like the RPG elements and so on to them, it gives this sense of like, oh, there is a right order to play certain cards in, which I really like. So if I'm playing Reen, for instance, I always have to use her attack cards first or last in order to preserve her buff. And if I'm playing Tressa and I've activated like some kind of exhaust skill, maybe I'll focus on a healing Shadow Daggers build, which they actually addressed in the patch notes because it's kind of busted right now. But we'll see how they go about it. On a side note, I hope that whenever it comes to patch notes regarding them, that like each of the combatants, that they don't end up nerfing characters as they do buff other characters, because I feel like Amir is one of those characters that probably needs more buffs. That being said, just in general, I want more combos. I want more cards that combo into doing different things. So I was going to use the example of, for instance, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a really good example of card combos, and I know no one likes sitting through the 15-minute cutscene when someone plays through something like a Synchrotron deck, or going through all of the like Fiendsmith combo into whatever bullshit they've got prepared for me. But the good thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! And how it plays is that you actually have like not an infinite amount, but you have a crazy amount of cards that you can play through and combo into, which allows like a crazy amount of build diversity. And I think that's kind of what makes people feel more engaged, because you end up having so much interactive elements to the game. And I think, in a sense, RPG elements within Chaosier and Nightmare kind of contribute to that fact. So the fact that you have like the ego skills, you do have the reverse time, rewind, dice roll, etc. elements to it, give you more freedom to play out a turn than is more than just what's in your hand at that moment. So that I really like. And I think that's kind of an important part to making the game feel more interactive or engaging, I suppose. So maybe a complication of that is that if you end up with too much, you overwhelm people. So it's a little bit variable, for sure. It depends entirely on, like, how willing your player base is to read, and the running joke in Yu-Gi-Oh games is that no one knows how to read. I was there when in Yu-Gi-Oh! One card did one thing, and if it was some Ultra card that did two things, not like today. Today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Is trash. I don't know if I'd say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is trash. I feel like you can make it good. Genesis, I think, is a really, really good example of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be. I think the issue is more so that Yu-Gi-Oh! Focuses a lot on this card stops you from doing this and therefore prevents play. And by you preventing play, you discourage interactivity, and you end up in these unskippable cutscenes where someone is basically just playing with themselves for 30 minutes to set up an indestructible board. Do you agree that every character is great right now with decent and good teams? I do think so, yeah. I think, actually, maybe a little bit of an asterisk, an exception. I think Amir is maybe underpowered. I've not fully invested into her, and I've not fully baked out and tried out her kit, so I can't say for sure, but I think the fact that I haven't really tried Amir because I'm lacking on resources even when trying to build up, like, only 9 characters for different elements, though they're not elements, whatever they're called, codes, I guess. The fact that I'm still stuck not having enough, I think makes it a little bit difficult to want to try out Amir. So I don't think there are bad characters, at least not yet. I will have to see. I will have to experiment. Maybe I'll build up Amir, and I'll do a couple of runs, like on stream or something, and then we can see how it goes. But I think at least she's hot. So, you know, maybe she's not great, maybe she doesn't have a great kit, but at least she's got a good lobby. So that's an upside, at least to me, anyway. And I guess the question is then, will they ever buff some of the kits? Maybe. Maybe. They said that they didn't want to get around to 4 vulnerable automatic cavalry. I kind of want more card draw, less attacks, because if I'm going to add belligerence to the deck, then this doesn't really help me. Oh, divine. Sorry if I'm, like, now focusing on this, but wowie zowie. Unique or reduce the cost of this card. You know what? Yeah, let's do that one. And then we get equipment. And I'll honestly, I'll replace that one. So, as I was going on to this tangent about, yeah, I don't think there are bad characters. I think every character has the possibility of being good, and it could also just be that some of the main/key features are locked behind ego manifestations. For instance, oh, you need a certain amount of duplicates whenever it comes to Amir, but I don't have enough duplicates to make her good or worth playing, just as of yet. Plus, like, the amount of resources that I need to grind for in order to get her to that point is kind of crazy. So, for each counterattack, 30% shield. I kind of like counterattack applying to all enemies. But the draw 1 is really good. I'm gonna get to a point where I get to, or actually, I'm on the interior right now. When I get to the final boss and then I fight them, I kind of need to deal AoE attacks. Kind of. Maybe. Wait, CZN dev can buff or nerf a character unlike other gacha games? They said that they would do something to compensate for the fact that there were a select amount of builds during the, was it Nebula Distortion, which was like a PvE event where you tried to deal as much damage as possible within a certain amount of time. So they said they would adjust it, but I don't know what that means. If that's going to mean that, oh, we're going to increase or decrease her kit. Amir was and still is my only E6 currently sitting at level 50 though. Is she good? Have you played with her enough? I really don't know if she's like crazy good or not, but when I got her in the beginning and I tried using her because I'm like, oh, she's cute, and used her, I just like couldn't get most of her build to work. It was mostly defensive, and yeah, I completed some of the quests or some of the missions with her. Oh, we hit reset. Some of the missions with her, but she was just a little bit slow because I think at least with the content back then, kind of, a lot of the content is focused on just killing fast and getting through the content fast, and for that reason, playing a bit defensively doesn't really play in your favor. Is this an artifact? Yeah, it is. Neutral legendary. So now actually with the Spiral Tower of Screams ? I think that's the name of it. It seems like it's going to be way more beneficial to have stall or slower teams. So I'm hoping that because Spiral Tower of Screams now encourages you to play against like level 200 enemies at some point, that we'll be able to play slower characters like Amir who focus on crystallization and adding metallicization. You'll have to correct me. My one brain cell can only recall slight parts of it. But yeah, I think it should be pretty good. I think that's why Magna, at least now, kind of excels, because all of the counter-attacks end up being really good. Also contemplating getting rid of Lift Anchor just to thin out my deck a little bit more, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I think thinning out my deck by removing Lift Anchor is probably for the best. So, bye-bye. Wait. One moment. Yeah, bye-bye. Get rid of it now. And then rest up. And how far are we, actually? We're just at the beginning of the interior, I think we are. Yes. We somewhat are. We're like halfway there, actually. Oh my gosh. Is this the run where I beat level 113 with my suboptimal, poorly crafted mess of a team? Maybe. I'm a being of potential, is what this one says. So, yeah, not entirely sure. But I think a good team, any character can be a good character with the right team, and I feel like it is in parts if they play into some of those card game principles with, for instance, manipulating things other than the deck itself. So, So if it is the case that they eventually want to add more combo cards per se, then that gives them the chance to make... yeah, I'll show them right after this, because if I exit now, it'll end the run, and I don't want to do that when I'm so close. I'm so close. I am edging this win right now. But yeah, for sure. I think if they get into the territory of making characters better by not changing the cards themselves only, but by changing how you combo into and giving characters more equipment or different ways of playing them that make them good, that would be really beneficial. So Amir probably doesn't work out the best solely because, oh, her kit doesn't allow me to do enough damage or whatever, right? Since it's a lot of defense-based damage, but she has, like, I guess an inherent limitation of being a 4-star and they don't want her to be better than some 5-stars, looking at Trissa. Even still, I think by maybe the next update with the, what's it called, the arena cards, maybe we'll see a change to that. Maybe she'll be really good because you can get, like, a different combination of equipment to buff her cards. So that's the hope anyway. Then there's also the case of like, oh, well, maybe we need some new 3-star / 4-star partners to be added to the pool, which I think would be really good, because I was looking at it earlier, and some of the ones that exist right now, or as they are for, like, Reen, for instance, I think it was anytime your character plays a card consecutively, you gain more damage. which is okay, but that being a 5-star that you have to roll for, man, Magna's screams are insane. Sorry. That being a 5-star combatant or partner that you just have to randomly roll for on the standard banner or use up one of your carry-over pities to try and get is a little bit unfortunate because, like, while I would want that, it feels like I should get something else. Like, maybe I should get an ego manifestation instead of going for a combatant, even if it does help me a lot. So maybe they should add more 3 or 4 stars that can help facilitate playing these characters more. So it doesn't feel like you have to overinvest. Like right now, for instance, on Magna, I have the dog guy. Where are the partners? Here they are. I have Rydell. So increase max HP and counterattack. If in counterattack state, their defense-based damage increases by 16%. That doesn't really help Magna whatsoever. I've only got it because he's basically a stat stick. Since I don't have very many, if any, bonuses to my defense-based damage on Magna. Oh, I think I should just get rid of him here, but I should have done this in this order instead. So it doesn't really help Magna because her counterattack isn't defense-based damage. And that's another one of the things. I love Chaos Zero Nightmare, let me preface this, but they need to work on some of the translation or some of the keywords that they add to it, because for instance, if I'm looking at some of the keywords like counterattack, it doesn't entirely tell me if the counterattack is going to be based on extra attack damage, if it's going to be based on coordinated attack damage like Selena's is, or if it's going to be using her regular attack stat. So it would be kind of good to know what it's attempting to use at least. So in that sense, yeah, maybe we'll figure it out. But I do want them to add more 3-star, 4-star partners so that they can facilitate, even if you don't have their 5-star equivalent that is like built for one specific or one particular character, that they allow me to at least kind of play the character optimally with an actual partner that does something. Because this one does nothing for Magna, and I'm really enjoying Magna either way. So right now, level 37, have a strong Teresa Hugo build with Mika, and I've leveled up Narya, Luke, and that guitar girl. Need help with that. My suggestion would probably be leveling up Mika and leveling up Teresa, or Tressa, whatever it was, and throwing in Nia. That's a really good comp, because if you can get the bonus for whenever you heal, you create the exhaustible shadow daggers to apply 2 agony, that you can just heal with Nia, heal with Mika, gain AP, play Nia's cards, draw 2 cards by the selected combatant. You could also do Ray instead if you want to play into more of the exhaust stuff, and that would work really well. Is there one more store before this? I'm just wondering. Yeah, okay, so don't splurge. What do I need? So I would recommend doing something like that. I kind of want the torch here, actually. Okay, I'm probably not going to torch. So yeah, if you go for that, I know that Hugo was said to be really good, but I've not built Hugo. I mostly play with the female combatants because they're pretty and I like their animations. I'm a cute girl enjoyer. So I'm not 100% sure. I did try playing a little bit of Luke because the game thrust upon me. They gave me 3 copies of Luke. And as mentioned earlier, I have hit max pity every single time. I've never ever gotten a 5-star without hitting max pity, so unfortunate for me, right? So I did play a little bit with Luke because I felt forced to, having 3 copies of him. But my build for Luke isn't that good. The build is more like try play as many bullet cards you can, then do, what was it, the demon dance, the bullet dance one that deals 1 attack for however many bullets. Luke seems pretty cool to me, like that crit kit. Yeah, exactly. If you focus a lot on the guns and then generating bullets and then go with that, yeah. And then you get the shadow dance, demon dance, whatever it was called. Though actually, I might be more interested or invested in what Luke's kit is like after reading his trauma code. Yeah, his trauma code. So maybe I'll get around to that. But honestly, I play a lot of CZN for the gameplay, which is kind of rare for gacha games. I love it to bits. So also, is it worth adding the attack card? And I think in that case, you should probably play Luke with a couple of draw characters. So yeah, all my male units are level 1, do not care, only thought about Cassius because he's a weirdo, but yeah, only Booba team. 100%, absolutely, dude. I'm exactly the same. Cassius, I love Cassius, I've got to say that. He was the first, and he's like the only male that I built. I did actually level up the males because I wanted the extra rolls. So that's kind of why I used the Luke excuse. I don't think I need to remove any of my cards, but I also want to maybe add attack. Do I want to? I don't know. I could maybe do it just for anchor shot, but it should be fine. I'll do it because it's a 0, and I can throw it on Mika. Yeah, I like having an all-girl team. A brother from another mother. My man. Fellow man of culture. 100% agree. Especially, and I don't think I can even show it on stream, Serenial's lobby, crazy good. I didn't even realize she was the, what's it called? The Christmas unit? She actually had nothing Christmas to her. I like satisfying fun game. Yeah, exactly. I think the animations, the way that you play the cards, all of these are really satisfying to play out. You know what I am gonna do? I have 1 AP. Maybe I should go for Anchor. I don't know if this applies this turn, but we'll see. I don't really play with some of the males. I haven't even touched Hugo whatsoever. I played a little bit with Luke because I wanted to build that like gun build since I tried to get my mailing build working, but the issue was I didn't have Selena at the time, which meant that I just couldn't get off another or a certain amount of passion cards, and I just never ever get that, what's it called? The epiphany that allows me to deal 1 extra attack for however many passion cards I played that turn. That sucked so badly. I just wasn't able to get that off whatsoever. So, unfortunately, I just decided, you know what, I'll play with other characters. And since then, I've only been playing with other characters, and eventually I'll get to playing Mei-Ling again. But I don't know, maybe that's in 2027. We'll see how many more characters. I do have Selena now, so maybe it's worth getting into. I did try build her for the Nebula Distortion, but the issue with the Nebula Distortion was that whenever you're just competing against whales, it was nigh impossible to attempt to beat some of their scores. I mean, it was like, what, 1.5 billion at the top? I don't know, I'm a little bit of grub on the ground comparatively, so I didn't stand a chance. I didn't have nearly enough ego manifestations to keep up. Also, I'm trying to use some of these ego skills now so that I can rotate into Mika, but it's given me every single one of the other ones. I want to try do Glacial Fist, but I don't deal enough damage, and they're gonna really hurt me. So we'll do Anchor Shot, then I'm thinking Frozen Fist and Water Barrier. So we'll do that. Oh, actually, and then now I can do that maybe? But healing. Okay, we'll do this. I'm a little bit tense because this is the final battle at level 112, 113. I keep forgetting. Okay, it's 3 numbers to remember, but that's already too many for me. I can barely count. That's why I look at pretty cards and pretty women on this game. So hopefully I do not get my ass handed to me. I need to try beat both of these at the same time. I'm now curious as well if defeating one of them retains the fortitude stat, since they technically die, but I don't know. Also, am I going to be able to? Let's do Anchor Shot just so that I can build up a little bit more. We'll hit him here. Oh, I should have used Charged Energy. I'm stupid. Oh, I'm a buffoon. I'm a fool. At least their turn is over. We'll build up 1 wave and hopefully we get next turn as well. Sand in, yeah. Unfortunate, but we'll see. I really need to win this. This is gonna be... No, I don't think it's worth rewinding. That's the thing, though. It would only be a 20% increase in damage. And I'll commit, you know? Oh, the day did refresh. I could do it. But I think it's going to refresh this one. I already hit next turn. I'm too fast. I'm too fast. Maybe. I'll do Blessing. Yeah, I think I basically just focus on healing this turn. And then I build up some counterattack stacks. Do I do... Yeah, I want to do this. I'm going to try refresh it so that I can get another one of the ego skills. Maybe one of the very few times he's going to be useful. I want to save Magna's skill so that I can try finish off one of the enemies. That'll be my goal. But I don't think I'm going to have enough counterattack stacks, which is why I'm hoping that I can get... Oh, here we go, Deluge. Which is why I'm hoping that I can get Haru's. So we'll do this, then we'll do Glacial so that I can gain Shield, and I think that's good for now. I think. And that's the issue, right? I'm thinking. I don't do that often, at least not enough, or as much as I should. We'll do Ice Wall, and that gives me at least 3 counterattack. He's probably going to do the multi-hit because of the 2 swords, which means... okay. Do this Anchor Pointer, then we'll go into Anchor Shot. He's going to give him Shield, so this is the best time for it. Then we'll do another Frost Shield. I will do Mika ult when I need to do Mika ult. I'm not going to do it now. I will probably end up using Magna's ult earlier, but I'm hoping that the counterattack of Magna can try and get rid of some of the shield on this other one. And then we'll do Belligerence. Oh my gosh, might I actually do it? I think I will. I think this might actually defeat the guy on the left, which I don't really want, because then he's going to revive. So I'll use the Mika ult whenever I really need to. Maybe I can get the attack card and then I can draw Anchor Shot like twice in a row. Yeah, here we go. Where's Anchor Shot? It's here. Then we'll do Source of Water. I should have done this first, but whatever, we're doing it now. Then we'll do... Ooh, is it worth... You know what, yeah, I think it's worth doing this now. Then we'll do Charge Energy. I didn't forget this time. Somehow it killed him. Then... Ooh! I did it! I did it! Oh, yes. Oh, it ain't easy being cheesy. Oh my gosh. Level 112 done with a really suboptimal team because I did not level them up at all. Oh my gosh. There we go. And armor? Maybe this is a build I will keep. Really makes you think. Maybe this is a build I will keep for Magna. Thank you, thank you. I bow and honk my clown nose as I finally do my deed on this stage and win. And I even got the seasonal rewards or whatever for the codex before it was all over. So let's see. Ooh, not even a single corrupted save data. Look at that. Look at that. Insane. I didn't think that I would get out of that so easy. Exploring new coordinates. Oh my gosh, all of them are legendary. Monsters... Oh no, this one is probably the... every 3 turns? Never mind, but... Oh gosh, these are all horrid. Deep trauma? No. I would rather not. I'll do nightmare mode for basically anything else except Codex. At this level, no, I would screw myself over. The Fortitude one sucks so bad, though. It sucks so bad. I don't know if I do left or right, though. That's the issue. Because decreasing max HP by 40 is insane. I don't think I'm going to win that one. Like, no chance whatsoever. Take middle? Maybe. I think you might be right about that one. The Fortitude one just makes them way too tanky at that much of a level difference, and the max HP decrease. The only downside is that I'll probably have a lot more mental breaks, but I think that's probably the highest chance. I think you're right about that one. Thank you, Mudai. I will do that. I refuse to call you by the first 4 letters of your name as a nickname. But now I can show you Speaking of, how on earth do I present, or how on earth do I say your name? Toxin? Is it Toxin? It's like leet speak, man, and I can barely speak at all, and this is what you do to me. What's this? You got rewarded with debuffs? Yeah, of course. This is how this is how roguelikes work. But yeah, okay, Toxin, good. I'm not completely mentally deficient. So yeah, by completing the codex, you unlock a harder version of it, and this is the codex level. Let's see. So I think if I do this, oops. If I do this, do not show, I can change the difficulty level, and that will tell me, or give me like a range of levels that I can play the codexes or codices within. And if so, then completing it will increase the level of difficulty. So you see, here's the codex level, and that's the amount of rewards gained. And then you have the actual level of the enemies within the manifestation. So now everything is set to level 122, and everything here is set to level 10. So in that sense, I did level 112 at codex level 10, and you can only do, I think, above level 100 and whatever if you're at codex level 10. I could be wrong. Yeah, 122. Dude, the spiral tower screams, or whatever it's called, goes insanely high now. Yeah, twice my level. I did these during one other stream, but even these ones were really, really difficult, actually. I don't think I can... Wait, maybe it's going to show me. Yeah. So, for each of these... wait, I wonder if I can view the last one? Can I? No. Wait. Yes, I can. Okay. It was... Oh, wait, maybe it wasn't this one. There's the one guy that for every turn he survives, or however many turns he survives, he keeps gaining my... 55 to 60 is kicking my head in, lol. Yeah, it scales really high. Also, first time chatter, welcome, thank you for showing up. Yeah, the difficulty increase is just massive as soon as you get into it. I can show what my combatants look like. I remember Toxin asking me about it. So, my team was... where's Magna? There she is. Magna, I've got... with actually... just missing one potential node, I leveled her up right before stream. So I don't have everything built for her. Then I have Mika, who I've only gotten these nodes for. I did max out her basic ones just so that she could heal as much as humanly possible. And then for Haru, I don't even have all of it, and I'm doing a crit build. So I massively gimped myself. You may call it like stupid, but I just like to call it brave. Because I managed to defeat it. I overcame. I'm like a shonen protagonist. I overcame my weakness and I persevered. So my combatants, I've leveled up in their like normal increments so that I could get all of the rewards. I did play a little bit with Luke, but he's a little bit difficult. Should we max out all these nodes for... Yeah, you should max out all of the nodes, or at least some of them. So for instance, when looking at Magna, if I go to her cards and I see what she does, so okay, so she gains a lot of shield, she focuses on counterattacks, and it seems like most of her utility comes from her her special cards is what this section is. The Epiphany cards is basically special cards. Because you'll see in potential they've translated it as unique cards. Never mind, it's called unique, not special. Ignore what I said earlier, you didn't hear that. You focus on these ones for Magna, but some of them, for instance Mei Ling, will focus a lot on her starting cards or her basic cards instead. So in that case, you want to focus on upgrading this node for her basic cards. So increase the damage, shield gain, and heal amounts of basic cards by 20%, because her cards here allow her to draw 2 basic cards. So you level those up. So it depends entirely on what the character is, which is pretty cool because it determines how you can like mix around your investments, which is why I was probably fine going into level 112 with my suboptimal team, with only some of these nodes maxed out to level 10 and not all of them. So in this case, I focused entirely on getting her basic cards, I did 10-10 on both basics and uniques for Mei-Ling. Yeah, exactly. Because Mei-Ling is crazy good, and that's probably good. I only have her at 1, though I probably should, because the Rising Dragon Spire, as soon as you get the basic combo one, we can see here, actually. For each passion card used, 1 extra hit. Insane. Absolutely insane. Really, really, really good. What do you recommend about Teresa for Shadow Reload? Let me go to her kit. Where is she? Am I blind? Yeah, I am. She's right here. So, when building Teresa, I would suggest that for Shadow Reload, you aim for this one. When healed by a skill card, create 1 Shadow Dagger. Really, really, really good. And keep in mind, this is only skill cards. It does not matter if an attack card has any kind of healing associated with it. Only skill cards count. So if you had an epiphany or an item that ends up healing you when you use a skill card, I don't think that applies, so it has to be innate to the skill card itself. Have heal 1 with copy 1. Yeah. You want to try play through a couple of times to build a deck so that you can get 3 of these. 2 is good, 3 is optimal. Otherwise, you maybe try playing Tressa with Nia. She's one of my more built units, actually. I'm blind. Here she is. You play her with Nia because Soul Rip, crazy good. 2 isn't too hard. Yeah. You'll probably be able to do it if you play that 1 Chaos Manifestation where it'll eventually ask you, do you want to copy a card? And you're just like, yeah, I want to copy a card. And that one usually picks it. Also, next patch notes, they said that they were going to reduce the amount of randomness when it comes to selecting who gets an epiphany or who gets their cards copied. You can now select a combatant to choose who you want to gain the copy card. So it's going to be way easier, and now you can grind less, which is really good. So it'll be even easier by the next update. But yeah, as I was saying, what about the nodes on Teresa? On nodes, I think, and I could be wrong, let me double check. So these are unique cards. Or wait, here we go. When healed Shadow Dagger, these are unique cards. You have to, in the potential screen, upgrade the unique cards to Tressa. That was 3 menus I clicked out of. So you need to level up this one if you're doing Shadow Daggers. And I'm now realizing, looking at this, that I haven't even followed my own advice. Don't be like me. I'm your role model of what not to do. Upgrade unique cards and just go hard on Shadow Healing Dagger, Hidden Dragon, Stinging Bee, Falling Leaf, Leaf Village, Naruto Power, whatever, right? You focus entirely on building up as many healing creates Shadow Daggers as possible. And I say Nia as a really good character to throw in, not only because she does a little bit of discard. You can, I think, change this to a healing. Let's see. Yeah, you can change this to healing, and then you can activate a card with lowest cost. Pretty good. But this Soul Rip, as soon as you get here, this one to the left also activates when discarded. If you can get her to work with Nia's Curiosity, her unique card, you can then search through, hopefully hit Soul Rip, pick up a card, heal at the same time, gain 2 decibels, create 2 or 3 more Shadow Daggers all in 1 turn. And that's just a single card activation. Really, really good. Have max till my level on all the nodes, level 37. Yeah. I would say maybe distribute them a little bit more. For instance, and I did kind of focus on some of the characters a lot more, as you'll probably notice. Like, Reen is by far my most built character because I love her. Where is she? Here. You can spread these out, but it also depends a little bit on what your memory fragments are. So even though I've not really invested as much into the potential, I have focused a lot on the memory fragments. And in this case, they're all focusing on the exhaust and void damage, so I focus more on that than the potential, because some of it is arguably better or more important. So even though you can max out potential, I would say maybe, at least depending on the character, that memory fragments are more important. But yeah, Nia, then I would say Mika, just because she's a lean, mean, but also blue healing machine, who, if you can, I've got save data that is just nuts for her. Every single one of my cards, except for the 2 basic ones, draws me a card and heals. So I play her with Tressa, and I just draw through my entire deck, and then because I'm playing Nia as well, I draw through my deck maybe 1 or 2 shuffles. And while I was rolling for Sereniel, either I just have absolutely horrid luck, or I have really good luck, but because I keep hitting max pity, I've got her at max ego. So anytime I shuffle, I gain bonus damage. So if I'm shuffling, well, every day I'm shuffling, I'm gaining, what was it, 20? Let's see. Whenever a shuffle occurs, yeah. So I'm gaining 20% bonus attack each time. So just maintain that and you've got plus 20 easy. I got Serenial as a free-to-play, and she kind of removes the need for thinking in chaos. Yeah, she's nuts. Serenial is nuts. Even, like, I think there are 3 or so kits that you can go for that just blows everything out of the water. As said, I'm worried about showing what her lobby screen looks like as well, but Serenial's really cute. She has got some insane epiphanies. For instance, this one where on Ravage you create homing laser, nuts. Throw in Selena to regen the tenacity meter, nuts. And as soon as you can also do the create X+1, get the artifact that increases the amount of X+1s by 1. So, and then you're just done. You're just done. Because it's haste as well. It's so good. Oh my gosh, her deck is nuts. I love Serenial's deck. It feels really satisfying to like try combo around to get into Ravage. How do you change the lobby screen? Very shrimple indeed. You go here to your main screen. My wife Rena's here, but you go to the bottom left, click here, then you can change combatants, and then I'm not going to click on Sereniel's, but let's say I click on Haru's, and then you can apply to lobby. And then they added Amir's as well. I got her E2 with a copy of Pekko, blew every resource I had for it. I heard Sereniel E2 is nuts. I've not actually played with Serenial E2. As you saw, I have her at nada, at 0, because my luck is horrid. And unfortunately, I live life on hard mode, so I'm going to, or I have beaten a lot of the content, at least currently, with what I have. So maybe, but, and I did make a little bit of a post about this. I really, really love the fact that we have these things, Omega code. So every season we get an Omega code just as like a free dupe. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so good. And yeah, she's still amazing at E0. Yeah, she's what got me into top 20% even as like a pretty garbage. I won't say that I'm good at all. That's why I'm calling myself garbage. I'm a garbage free-to-play player who still managed to get into top 20% of each of the like Nebula distortions through it. And mind you, like, this was holidays as well. So, Omega code, Reen E2, no regrets. You see, because she's in the standard banner, I am forever bound to this, what's it called? I'm forever bound to this idea that I'll just wait. I'll just wait and eventually I'll get more copies of her. Eventually, you know? So I'm like, maybe I don't have to use it. Omega, yeah, wait, really, free copy? Wow, yeah. So every season, I think the last one was Yuki's, and then you got a free copy of it. But I think as well, if I go to the shop, there should be, yeah, these things. Spectral cubes. So anytime you get a combatant, a 5-star combatant above the maximum amount of memory codes, whatever they were called, ego manifestations, that's it, I think, maybe, possibly. You gain one of these spectral cubes, and you can just redeem them for an extra copy of the other 5 stars that you have. Insanely good. I think Fate Grand Order is the only other game that I've seen do this, but Fate Grand Order does not compare because it is, well, it's not as generous. I tell any current new player to build your Mei Ling if you have a copy of her. Yeah, Mei Ling will take you through a lot of the content. She basically guarantees one side basin the whole way. Yeah. I would say Tressa is also really good. She gets you through a lot of content easy. You probably could do Mei Ling, Cassius, Mika. Build up AP via Mika, Mei Ling into a combo, draw via Cassius to get this card again, Unity of Attack and Defense, and roll with that. And that ends up being really powerful. So, pretty good combo. I have tried doing a little bit of Nia, Mei Ling, Cassius, but that depends on how tough as nails your team is. So, yeah. Also, I remember now, weak characters, if I had to say, probably Orlea. I tried doing a healing Shadow Dagger build with Orlea retaining Mei Ling, Narya, Guitar Girl. Don't have Mei Ling. Don't have Mei Ling. Okay, do Tressa, Nia, and Mika, I would say. So Guitar Girl, Nia, Mika for healing, and then Tressa, you should be fine. And then you can just build up insane amounts of agony stacks. As I was saying, onto like weak characters, I would kind of say Orlea falls into that category. I was trying to do a healing dagger setup with Tressa and Orlea, and I think Mika? Yeah, maybe Mika, or maybe it was Rei. And the issue with having Orlea's retain cards is that although you're healing, you're filling up your hand just over capacity every single time, and you just can't generate more daggers, so it really puts a top. Can't make Orlea work, skill issue, I guess. I must be suffering from the same thing. Like, this is one of the complications I have with not only retain cards, but Beryl as well. I haven't played Beryl, but one of the immediate things I notice, and I think it's going to be the exact same issue with Orlea, is that retain increased damage by 80%, right? However, the issue with her and with Orlea for something like that is that there's always an optimal, per se, amount of times that you are meant to retain this card. I cannot for the life of me figure out how you're meant to get to that point with Orlea, because all of her cards exhaust, and as a result, you just end up retaining for like 10 turns on, let's say, the attack card. Swifty, yeah. You retain for like 10 turns on the attack card, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll use it, and then that's it. And she doesn't really deal much damage to begin with. She's a support unit. So why? I don't know. So Swifty isn't crazy good. Another CC told me Orlea needs dupes pretty bad. Actually, let's check. What do her dupes do? Manifest Ego. Adds Retain to Will of Light. Okay. And that's okay. When a creation card evolves into creation 3, Retain is triggered. Oh! Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense. Evolve creation effect is added to Salvation. Evolve created creation $. And then if we look at this, if there's a creation card in hand, increase damage amount of allies by 10%. Oh my gosh. That's like half of Ray's, but still really good. Increase basic. Whenever Orlea uses a creation card, deal I guess level of the creation card. 50% fixed damage to all enemies. Okay, that, yeah, I can see why in that case. That's a massive upgrade, actually. Yeah. I was thinking with Magna's as well that hers don't really do much. It's like initiation, it's okay. And then freeze when taking damage from Magna's attack cards. But Magna doesn't really have attack cards. She has like 2. So you would have to hit with 1 or 2 and then you gain freeze, or you use the freeze stack. So that doesn't really help often. Damage increase from each counterattack from absolute 0 is changed to 30. which is good since it's, quote, infinitely scaling, end quote. Change Magna's counterattack so it no longer reduces vulnerable. Yeah, that one is actually really good. I feel like Narya is one half of the Magna future team. They did say that 9, the next upcoming character, was going to be benefiting a lot from Narya. So maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I played a little bit with Narya through her trauma code, but I don't know. I'll have to see what 9's kit looks like, and if I do want to roll for Narya. Narya looks really cute, and what I've read of her trauma code so far, I really enjoyed. The other Magna teammate should have some ability to force enemies to attack more, in my honest opinion. Yep, I agree. I think there should be, if anything, I think a future character that would be really good is a character that auto-triggers your counterattack stacks or triggers dependent on counterattack stacks. So like how Narya has the whole veracity and predation stuff, which is unfortunate that predation doesn't do multi-hit. What I worry about is that if you pair her with Magna, again, I don't have her, so I can't check, you trigger predation stacks on her counterattacks. That's what I would be worried of. So when do you start getting mythic equipment in Chaos? You only get them from special encounters. You have the Mind Flayer, you have each stage boss, and rare events. And those are the only ways you can get it. Reen was my favorite until Narya, and Narya will be retired upon the balloon girl from the main menu that's not been released yet. Oh, yeah, Nona? Or wait, is that Nona? Main balloon girl. I'm maybe forgetting. But Reen is still my favorite. I love her. I've got a crazy deck for Reen, actually. And I don't think I'll ever retire her. She's so cute. Let's see. Save data. I've got this insane deck. It could maybe be better. It could maybe be a little bit better. Dark Mist, Stance, then Haste. Add 1 hit, but 3 copies of the draw 2 cards of this unit. If I'm playing a small enough deck, I infinitely loop with this deck. Can you show us your Abyss skills? My Abyss skills? I'm not sure what you mean. As long as Nono isn't a partner? No, it was revealed in the October leaks. Nono is not a partner. She is a combatant. So, no need to worry about that. Abyss skills. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. What do you mean, Toxin? But there's no more details in the leaks for what Nono is gonna do. The double team one? Oh. Basin of Hyperspace, I think you mean? This is the seasonal one. My teams look a little bit like this. I do Tressa, Ray, Mika, Serenial, Cassius, and Selena. So I don't use any of the defense-based ones. It's also only level 75. You know, big boy like me, big Magus Wages with his big wand can easily defeat this. You know, not too difficult. It's really just a case of setup, if anything. It didn't have to. Is it challenging? No. It's more difficult to get the right deck, I would say. I don't think it's really all that difficult. I would maybe say that the most difficult part is killing things in time. But you play Cassius and you play characters like Ray for a little bit of contingency in the case that you don't defeat them in time. So I've got a really big draw deck with Ray. I just make a bunch of Shadow Daggers, or I play her with Mika, I think. Yeah. I play her with Mika, I exhaust my 2 water barriers, and then all of my heal cards are just draws. And then I've got, how many cards in deck? I've got, after using my heals, 2, 5, and... yeah, I've got 10 cards in my entire deck. Gotta agree, Basin pretty quickly gets to a point where sustain barely matters. Exactly. You don't really have to care about it. And for that reason, I really like Spiral Tower of Screams. I didn't have to click that button to get there. Spiral Tower of Screams, the fact that it's like really high level and then you have to begin caring about it, really, really nice. How do you have a creative outlook on your save data? That's done. Oh wait, I could have just... Why am I doing this? I'm insane. Dimensional Twilight. Let's go in here. We'll look at Serenials. So here, you go in here and then customize favorites. And then you can change the look of them. And then you can like click and choose, pick and choose. If you come from Hoyo Games, for example, you'll compare Basin to MOC. I forget the acronym, but I know... Isn't it Spiral Tower of Abyss or whatever it was called? I forget. But TBH Basin isn't nearly as challenging as Mach. I don't remember Mach. I thought Mach was Spiral Tower. Is that a new thing? I stopped playing after the Sumeru update. Genshin Impact Mach. Let's see. Oh, I can't find... Memory of Chaos? No. I'd never played it. Unfortunate. Also, I'm realizing I've gone a little bit overtime, but I'm just having so much fun talking. Honkai Star Rail is Mach. Ah, okay. I thought that was Genshin. Sorry, I don't know why. Immediately as you said Hoyo Games, I immediately went to Genshin. I forgot they made Honkai as well. I haven't played Honkai whatsoever. Honkai Star Rail is Mach. I see. I've been streaming for a bit. I might end stream soon, but please don't forget to follow if you so want to see amazing gamer content like this. I don't know, I play a little bit of gacha games here and there, a little bit of everything. I play a little bit of, what's it called? Hytale. I was going to do a playthrough of Devil May Cry as well, and then I kind of wanted to play a little bit of RimWorld where I'd name the colonists after people in chat. But yeah, Genshin is Abyss. Yeah, I feel like the issue... I do have a YouTube channel. It's in my bio, but I'm basically streaming the exact same thing there. I just don't make content, at least not yet. I will make it. Also, the alert didn't show up, but thank you so much for following me, Sharko. Or, no. Yeah, no, I said that wrong. Sorry. No. Sharka Row. Right? Ignore what I said earlier. Just a thought. Go on. Yeah, I guess I'll just ramble a little bit while I wait for the message to show up and the latency to pick up. But yeah, I play gacha games. I love card games. I will 100% play Slay the Spire 2 when it comes out. I will immediately play that and then I'll stream it. I play a lot of CZN. I've kind of made it a little bit of a habit to play CZN over the weekends. And I'll be doing a playthrough of Devil May Cry. I don't know how much people are interested in that, but I love the Devil May Cry games. I played the original 2, and then I never really got through to the 3rd one. But yeah, we'll see. I kind of suck at them, but I love them. Maybe make some 10 to 20 minute vids on YouTube with your thoughts on the meta of the games you play. Yeah, absolutely. I could do that. I think I'm the type to probably ramble on for maybe a little bit too long. The only issue, and one of like my main points of contention towards making content, is that I am in part a little bit of a perfectionist. I want to make sure that it's both digestible, both good and digestible, so that people, when they watch it, enjoy it, not only because I want to make it entertaining and informative. So we'll see. I'll probably do something like that. I'll probably talk a little bit about it. Thank you so much for the idea. I'll definitely consider it. I've been wanting to push myself to make some content, but I'm still in the process of making some of the art still for my channel and everything like that. So either one of those will have to come next. I will see. Because one of the things that I want to do with my content as well will show us the Spiral one. Spiral Tower of Screams. I can show that one a little bit quickly. One of the things for the content that I want to do is, well, I'm a very silly person. Very, very silly. This is what my Spiral Tower team looks like, by the way. So when I play something that is a little bit less talking centric, like I have for Chaos Era Nightmare, I tend to make goofy voices or whatever. I don't know. I just like having fun, but I'm also very skittish, so I get spooked pretty easily whenever I play something like Hytale because the bugs freak me out. So we'll see. I want to do a little bit of a variety of content. I was thinking of doing like reviews per se of some of the roguelikes that I play, because I love both card games and roguelikes, and maybe it's worth looking into some lesser known roguelikes that people don't know about. I've played a lot of them. There's a really good one called Ellen, which I've been following since Alona, which I think people don't give enough credit to. Also super good. Very different genre, but maybe some more roguelike deck builders, perhaps. I've not played a lot outside of Slay the Spire and CZN, thinking about it, so maybe that would be interesting. But yeah, making reviews, little short reviews on that, uploading small clips and so on. I'll have to see about it. I'm very much of the mindset to just stream. I just stream. I love streaming, and I will always be streaming, so that's kind of why I end up just streaming and not creating content. I'm a little bit too guilty of that. I'm like, dude, I should really be putting out shorts. I should really increase exposure, but I just want to stream. I just want to play games. I just want to talk for like 2 hours straight or 3 hours straight and just do nothing else. I'm like streaming. I'm trying to stream every single day, and I am streaming every single day. Have now, I think this is the 2-week milestone of streaming every single day. For 2+ hours. So once I have made my stream assets, I will then focus a little bit, little bit, on making some like YouTube digestible content and making something interesting out of that. Then maybe more to come. I want to see where I go with this, but yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. A little wizard boy can keep all of his secrets. A little mage can keep his secrets. You never ask a wizard for his spells, what his signature spell is, you know? So we'll see what it comes to, but I will definitely keep that in mind. As said, I'll probably, maybe, if my editing skills are up to par, make something like that. Because I do more than just talk about games all day. I also talk about anime. I also talk about other games. I also talk about the game I'm playing. No, I talk a little bit about like all online topics, I suppose. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm actually going to wrap up now. Once again, don't forget, so different, yeah. Okay, don't even start. I've been going on like 17 different topics this stream. I went on about like comedy in media. I went on about some of the recent animes I'd been watching and what made it unique. Yesterday, I was rambling on about like how stories are just a variation or interpretation of like tabletop campaigns because of how you're meant to play the characters or write out characters. Today, yes, it was a lot more about Chaos Era Nightmare, but what game am I playing? What's on your screen right now? Exactly. That's what I thought. Don't you speak back to me. Don't you ever. No, whatever. I appreciate it. Smile. So, yeah, I talk a lot. It's all very different topics. Maybe you've just forgotten all of the topics that I spoke about. So, don't you yap me. What the? Yep. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. If you liked it, I'm on every single day. I'm streaming every single day around, well, on weekdays, I would stream in 40 minutes from now. I have the schedule and everything in, I think, 3 different time zones listed on my profile on X and on Twitch and on YouTube, I think. So I'll double check, but if they're not, then I'll update it there. And if you want to stick around for more, please do. Thank you so much. I didn't even swap to my idle screen. What is wrong with me? So, yeah, you'll find me at the same hours every single day. I stream every single day. You can find me there underneath the same name on every single platform. I even have a TikTok, which I've never used. But you can find me there. You can find me there. And eventually, I'll make content on every single one of them. It's been nice knowing you. I'm not dying. I'm not deceased, but it's been nice knowing you for the past 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I can still count. I can read. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to ever suggest something to me, be it to play, to do something, to make content, to talk about a topic, feel free to just, like, shoot me a message or post it or send it in chat, whatever. I don't know. You do you. Even if you're lurking, I'm watching you. I am watching you. I've got a spell for that. Well, a misspelling. Anyways, thank you so much for the 3rd time for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And until we meet again, bye-bye. Bye-bye.